Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuronmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarini Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Te Namaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanasute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय. नामाचार्य दास ठाकुर की जय. श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे
Krishna
कृष्णा
Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा. Okay. All glories to Shri Shri Radha Govinda. Let's take their blessings and Shri Prabhupada blessings. Okay. Chapter 14, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. That is the three modes of material nature. So we have been hearing about the three modes, right? In all the chapters, since starting from this chapter 2, Krishna mentions about, tells Arjuna that you have to raise above the three modes. So what are these three modes and what is meaning of raising above three modes? What is that? Someone tell. What are the three modes of material nature?
Mataji, is it goodness, passion, and ignorance?
Yes. No. Yes, you should tell firmly.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Sattva
You're
gunam,
sure? Is there
rajogunam.
any doubt? Yes.
Sattva gunam, rajogunam, tamogunam.
Sattva guna, rajaguna, and tamaguna. So what is that Krishna says, no? Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunyo Bhava Arjuna. So he says that Vedas deal with mainly three types of material nature, Sattva, Rajo, and Tamo. So you have to raise above three modes. So what is that mean? Raising above three modes. So what is that guna called? There is a name for that guna. What is that? Sattva, Rajo, Guna, Tamo. And what is that raising above? Sattva Guna. Yes. Santosh Prabhu, what is it? You have heard about this, right? Earlier.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. It's pure mode of goodness. Shuddha Sattva Guna.
Oh.
Yeah. So why we will see. Yeah.
Hey, whenever you ask questions, at that time only we don't get the answers. That is the biggest problem. We will be
Yeah.
paused in our mind. But afterwards we will think, "Arey, why I
Oh,
have not
why?
answered it?"
When I say you feel like, oh, I knew this. Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Happens. So yeah, so the one has to raise to three modes. So why like that? Krishna will explain that in this chapter. So basically, in this chapter, what we are going to see is that what are these three modes? So we will learn about all the three modes. How do they act, and how do they bind, and what will be the destination of each mode, right? And how can one get liberated from these three modes? So this is what is the subject matter of this chapter. So basically, it is said like the three modes means basically the world is same, but it depends on the person who view the world, right? It's like you're wearing a green chashma, whole world looks like green, right? Or somebody else is wearing a red, and if I'm wearing a green, no, everything looks green to me. So for some other person, it depends. So basically, how a person perceive it. So world is the same, but it's the only thing how a person sees it. So it differs from person to person. So for example, there is in a bus, three people are going, like a mode of, one person is in mode of goodness, one person is mode of passion, and one person mode of ignorance. So what happens when they're like a person, there is in mode of goodness, he's we'll assume like he's reading some book. And then when they pass by, so immediately they see some greenery outside, and suddenly when he sees the greenery, he feels that, oh, it is so nice, beautiful place. Maybe my reading would be much better. I mean, I would be able to go into the concept even more much better. It's like he feels like I should be sitting there and reading. The same place, if when a Rajasic person sees, he feels like, oh, it would be good that if I was, if I had a partner and I would be there, and I would get time to romanize, romance with her, with my partner. No, that in that way the Rajasic person feels. So the Tamasic person, what he'll feel. So he is basically lethargic, right? So he feels like, okay, why not let me go and sleep there? No, it is looks so peaceful. Let me have some nice sleep. So like the same thing, but then it depends on how a person sees it. So this is the three modes of material nature. Okay, so this is a chapter 13 sections. I'll not go much into it. We saw it in detail in last week. So this we had 6 sections. So Arjuna 6 questions, and Krishna answered the 6 questions. The Prakriti is the material nature. Purusha, so is the living entity. Kshetra is the body. Kshetragna is two Kshetragnas. One is the soul and the other is the super soul. So Jnanam is knowledge. So we learned that in the 8 to 12 verses, Krishna detailedly explains what is the real knowledge and what is the goal of that knowledge. Why should one develop? The Gnayam. Gnayam is the object to attain the Lord, no, to know Krishna. So those were the things. And yeah, so for that one need to develop the vision of knowledge, that is Jnana Chakshusha. So these were the sections. So chapter 14 sections, we have 5 sections. So 1 to 4, Krishna explains the liberation and conditioning of the living entity by the three modes, and description of 5 to 9, 14.5 to 14.9, description of binding of the pure soul by three modes. So how the soul eternally, I mean, it is actually by nature, it is pure, but then when it comes in contact with material nature, how it becomes binded or get conditioned. No, that is why we call it as conditioned soul. Why the soul is called conditioned? Because of these three modes. It is conditioned by three modes. So 10 to 13, recognizing the supremacy or mode within a person. So sometimes Sattva Guna is prominent, and sometimes Rajoguna becomes prominent, and sometimes Tamoguna become prominent. So how one mode is competing with the other mode. And in the next section, we see from 14 to 18, actions and death within the modes. So when a person is in a Sattva Guna, how would be his actions? What kind of action he does? And similarly, the other Rajo and Tamoguna, and death within the three modes. So what will be the, if a person at the time of death he is in Sattva Guna or Rajo Guna, so what will be his destination? So, and then transcending the three modes. So how one can transcend the three modes. So this will be the last section. Section 1, A, liberating and condition of living entities. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Param Bhuyah Pravakshyami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Yajnatva Munayas Sarve Param Siddhimito Gataha. Santosh Prabhu will read.
Yeah, Mataji. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Again, I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection." Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah. So here again, in many chapters we have seen Krishna saying that, no, now I will tell you the highest knowledge. So here again he's saying that this is the best of knowledge of all but what I have given you, and knowing which all the sages have attained the perfection. So there are many sages who have understood this, that whatever is happening in the material world is because of this, because of everything is about because of the three modes of material nature and nothing else, right? So this is in this picture, they are called Navayogendras, no? 9 sages, Paramahamsas. So they are son of Rishabhadev. So Rishabhadev is also said to be incarnation of the Lord Krishna. He comes in, that is Sakshavesha avatar. So one of the 6 avatars which Krishna takes, no? He comes in that. So he teaches his sons, about how bad is sense gratification, and this the talks with his sons. It is there in Bhagavatam in detail. So actually he had the sons, no. So they were Paramahamsas. So 9 Navayogendras. So when they come once to the King Nimi palace, right? So there they ask, so the king was asking about the incarnations in Kali Yuga, how the God would descend in Kali Yuga, because we know, right? Every millennium Krishna says, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glane Bhavati Bharata, I come in every millennium. So how does he come in Kali Yuga? There they speak about the advent of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this comes in Bhagavatam, chapter 11th canto, where Krishna Varnam Trisha Krishnam Sangopangas Tapashradam Ignay Sankirtana Prahir Yajanti Hisumedasha. No, there they say that Krishna Varnam Trisha Krishnam. So Krishna, but he is not coming as Krishna, but Krishna in the color, a different color. Trisha Krishnam means not as Krishna. Sango Pangasra Parsadan. So he comes all with his associates. We know na, the Panchatattva. So he comes with his associates, because whenever Lord comes, he never come alone. So like how we brought all the demigods as these Yadus, no? All the Yadu dynasty were actually the demigods who came along with Krishna. And so similarly here, Sango Pangasra Parsadan. What did he do? So what will the Lord do? Yagne Sankirtana prayer. He will start the Sankirtana movement. He, as a devotee, he is going to establish the Sankirtana movement, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us 500 years back the Sankirtana movement. And who will take it up? Yajanti hui Sumedasha. Medasha means intelligent. Sumedasha means very intelligent. Only very intelligent people are able to take this in Kali Yuga. So this was their prediction when they come. So here Krishna is saying that So once you attain this supreme knowledge, so you can attain the same perfection. I mean, at perfection in the sense one can attain the higher planet, spiritual planet, and it could be in the material world, the highest planet is the Brahmaloka or the Satyaloka, but still higher is the Krishna's spiritual abode, no? That is Vaikuntha Loka or the Goloka. Actually, in this is because Prabhupada mentions here in the purport, because here Param Siddhi Mitogata, only the devotees can attain this, because the impersonalists, they always want to merge in Brahman. They don't know the real thing, because they don't know that there is so much variety in spiritual world. Bhagavatam explains in the Canto 3, chapter 15, there is a complete chapter which is called as Description of Kingdom of God, where Lord Brahma is explaining to demigods about the four Kumaras they are actually they keep traveling to different planets whenever as they wish. They keep traveling to different planets, and once they visited like that to spiritual world. So there, what did they see? That Lord Brahma is explaining to all the demigods, right? So there the description comes where it explains that he says that all the residents in the spiritual world, they all have the four-handed form, like the Lord, right? They all have, this is Vaikuntha Loka where it is explained. So all they have four-handed form like Lord, and they're all engaged in service to the Lord. So there's no sense gratification there. And there are many forests inside in the spiritual world, and in the forest there are desire trees. Desire trees means they can fulfill anything, whatever we are asked, and it does not matter which season, because here in material world, if we want mangoes, only in certain season, no, apple in certain season, like that we have for every season, like, right? So but then in spiritual world, anytime everything is available. So because there are desire trees which can give that. And the inhabitants there always will be flying in airplanes, no, which are not made from these factories or anything, but only by just there by Vedic hymn they can create one airplane. So that concept we know that is there, because it's not something new that science have invented. We have seen in Ramayana where Pushpaka Viman, how Ravana absconded Mother Sita, right? So like that, so these people, they are going in airplane. What do? They're actually singing the glories of Lord. And there are many birds, and so there it is mentioned that the bee hip, the bees are singing the glories of God, and it is making a lot of noise. It sounds like a noise, but still all the other birds who had very sweet voices like cuckoo, right? And they are all keeping quiet, and they want to hear the glories of Lord, because there is no enviousness. This is also one of the reason that we are here, it is said. And but then there is no enviousness. They all are hearing, and even the all beautiful flowers, because they are eternally fragrant, so fragrant, full flowers. But then they are all praising. They are appreciating Tulsi Rani, though she is not so beautiful. It is said Tulsi is not. She's dark and she's not that beautiful. Why they are praising? Because Lord is pleased by her, and Lord is wearing that Tulsi Mala. No? So he's wearing by himself. So that is why they are all appreciating. So these are all so many things mentioned about the spiritual world, and it is not at all like there's no variety, and Krishna is doing different pastimes with them. So whoever understand this knowledge, so this is like a Palashruti Krishna is giving in the starting. So one can attain that perfection. So in the chapter 13, there was Krishna mentions there that due to association, no, Karana Guna Sangosya Sadasadyoni Janmasu, 13.22 shloka, it is said that because of association, we are going into different species of life, the living entity. So what is that association? Is this three modes of material nature. So this knowledge is what is Krishna is talking about. We are going to know in this chapter. Idam jnanamupashritya mama sadharmyamagataha sargepi nopajayante pralayena vyathanti cha.
By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature like my own. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at the time of dissolution. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, by becoming fixed in knowledge, one can attain to transcendental nature of mind. So basically, what is that? Here we have to understand that it is not like again becoming one. Krishna is talking about only the qualitative, no, not the quantity. Quantity we can never match the Lord. No, we saw in the previous chapter so many differences between the super soul and soul. No, so even the body, ours is made of the five material element and the subtle body, but Krishna's body is transcendental. Krishna is Vibhu and we are Anu, and Krishna's senses are transcendental. No? So one senses can do the function of other. So like that we saw many because he don't have any material quality. So we can also attain that. That means we can attain the spiritual body, one who can know this knowledge. And Krishna says that he will not be born again in this material world when there is because every time Krishna creates, Brahma creates and annihilate in his day, right? Morning he create and night he annihilate. So that time the entities will not have to die and keep getting different birth. So that is what is said here. So that is possible only. So here Prabhupada says that there is one called material knowledge and there is a transcendental knowledge. So here what is material knowledge is always contaminated by three modes. So whatever we get in this material world, it is invented or discovered by a human being who is who is defective, means he has four defects. No? So that is why it is called material knowledge is conditioned, or it is called contaminated knowledge. But then transcendental knowledge, we say this Bhagavad Gita is a apaurushaya grantha. Apaurushaya means it's not written by any ordinary person, but this is given by the Swayam Bhagwan. No? Swayam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padmat Vinishruta. So that is what Sri Shankaracharya says in Gita Mahatmya, that this is told by Lord himself. Padmanabhasya Mukha Padmat Vinishruta. So that is why we hear this. No, we cannot experience this with our material eyes, but we can only understand by hearing. So introduction and glorification of knowledge. Understanding this chapter help one to attain and transcendental nature like Krishna, knowing which all sages have attained the supreme perfection. So one more thing in the Shloka 1 we can see, these sages are actually sons of Kshatriya king. So it again shows that not necessary that a son of Brahmana has to be a Brahmana or a son of Kshatriya. It is purely based on what is the gunas the concerned person is holding. Now based on that, Krishna says, Chaturvanyam Maya system, Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. So I made this caste system based on the gunas, that is the qualities the one is possessing, and the karma, the kind of work a person is doing. So these, even a Kshatriya, sons of Kshatriya, they were able to become pure Paramahamsas. No? So that is, yeah. So that is one more thing in that, because a Brahmana is said to be having the Sattva Guna, and Kshatriya is a Sattva Guna, a mixture of Sattva Guna and Rajoguna, and Vaishya is a Rajoguna and Tamoguna, and the Shudra is only Tamoguna. Mama yonirmahad brahma tasmin garbham dadamyaham sambhava sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata.
The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what is the Lord Krishna saying here? That because this Brahman is used in different contexts. So here the Mahat Tattva, which is called the 24 elements, no? So that is called Mahat Tattva, and for this which is the total cause of the cosmic manifestation. And Krishna, it is because possible only because of Krishna's glance over the material nature. That's how all the living entities were born from that, from his glance. So here Prabhupada says that material nature is not not the cause of birth of living entities, with an analogy that if there is if somebody sees a Scorpio, a Scorpio is a Scorpio laying eggs in the rice, right? So by seeing that, we cannot think that, okay, this rice, scorpion has born out of rice. No, it is not like that, because there were egg. That is why there was a birth, right? Similarly, material nature alone cannot create living entities. It is because of Krishna's energy the living entities are coming into existence. So the purpose is to give a chance to all the to the living entities to uh, engage in devotional service. So that is why this has been made, and this material world is made by the Lord, so that we can reform and go back. So this is Mahavishnu, right? So we can see he's lying on the casual ocean, and with his breath, so many universes are manifested. And in each universe, we can see Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu there, sitting, lying on Sheshanag, and from his navel, a lotus is born, right? So this is how it is in the spiritual world. Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavanti yaha tasam brahma mahatyonir. This is only we did, no? No. Okay.
Yeah.
Aham bija pradapita.
It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed giving father. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah. So all the 84 lakh species which we see, so Krishna says, for all that species, I am the seed giving father. Bija Prada Pita. So Prabhupada says that there are entities in all the planets, not just this in material universe. So there are many universes in the in the material universe itself, there are many planets, and in each planet there are entities. So even in the sun planet, moon planet, there are many. Every planet is crowded. Everywhere it is crowded, and and Krishna is the seed giving father for everyone. So you can see this 84 lakh species there. I mean, this is mentioned in Padma Purana. No? Padma Purana says that there are around 4 lakh human species. So out of 84 lakh, so 84 lakh, 4 lakh is human species itself. And then there are, I think, 11 lakh insects and reptiles, and there are uh, uh, 11 lakh, 30 lakhs in the animal species, and 11 lakh around trees. So 11 lakh in trees. So like that in the fish and water bodies, I think 9 lakh. So like that, it is mentioned clearly. It is not that something has got like some explosion happened, or some creature it was born, nothing like that. So all the specified species are already there. Nothing new is created, or nothing can new be created. A man, even a scientists cannot do anything. Not they cannot create any life, right? So whatever they do, also that is only because they are. Without taking the a life, they cannot create a life without that, right? So it's all, so that is why Krishna is the only seed giving father for all the living entities. So how the soul come into material world and is placed within the material nature. So material nature is the mother supplying living entity with the body. So this is what, based on our desire, right? So Krishna gives the material nature. I mean, she instruct the, we see that in chapter 5, right? There are 3 doers. One is the Prakriti, one is the soul, and the other is the super soul. What does the soul do? Soul does, soul desire, and based on the desire, if I am eligible, or Krishna sees that does he deserve that, so not that all our desires get fulfilled. So accordingly, he will instruct the material nature, and uh, we get that certain body, you know. The Lord puts him there by his potent glance and thus impregnates the material nature with the seed. So this we can see, this is Mahavishnu or Karana Dakashai Vishnu. This you can see, this chart we have seen, no, in the chapter 8 we see Goloka chart. I think you all have this copy. If not, let me know. I can share in the group. So here Mahavishnu glancing at the is Mahatattva, and also Rama Devi, no? Rama Devi, and then Rama Devi expands to Maya, and Lord also he expands to Shambhu. So from them, so Durga and Lord Shiva are said to be the mother and father of this material world, actually. Yeah. Description of binding the pure soul by 3 modes. Sattvam rajastamamiti guna prakriti sambhavaha nibadnanti mahabaho dehe dehinamavyayam.
Material nature consists of the 3 modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the living entity comes in contact with nature, he becomes conditioned by these modes. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So living entity, when material nature consists of 3 modes, when living entity come in contact with nature, he becomes conditioned. So as we said, so it's given an analogy, with the analogy Prabhupada explains. So when the rain water is very pure, right? But a drop of water which is falling, I mean, if it falls in a river, it remains pure. But then if it falls in a mud, it becomes dirty. It gets polluted. So similarly, based on the association, if I'm engaging myself in the mode with the mode of goodness, I mean, I can elevate myself. Or if I'm engaging in the mode of passion, then I can, I mean, mode of passion and mode of ignorance, so I can fall down. So at the time of living, right? So living this body, so accordingly we will get that certain body, and that there's no guarantee that like I have got a human life, and next life that I'm going to be a human being. So it's all purely based on what kind of mode you are at the time of leaving your body. So that is why this association is very important, right? Anything else? Yeah. And Prabhupada says here that because of different bodies, right? In chapter 15, we will see this, how a person develops a different, based on his desire, how material nature is giving him different senses, different material senses, and how he enjoys, and suffering is because of those. But then one who takes to Krishna consciousness or surrenders to the Lord, Krishna will end that suffering. No, he can. It is like, so it is like because it's a Krishna's energy only. End of the day, it is the divine energy of the Lord. Devi Hyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva ye prapadyante Maya metam tarantite. Krishna says, no, in chapter 7, right? Yeah. Daivi Hyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva ye prapadyante, maya me tam tarantite. So the divine energy of mind, the three modes of nature, is very difficult to overcome. But then whoever surrenders onto me, I will protect them. So it is just like Prabhupada says. So there is like a because the devotees, they wear this kanti mala, right? The kanti mala, the tulsi mala. So it is just like it's like you're a dog of Krishna, no? Dog of Krishna in the sense you have a master. The you know that the dogs that have a master have the belt over their neck, right? So it is like they have a master. It says that. So otherwise you are like it's like a street dog. So what is the difference? I mean, some may feel like, okay, being it would be better being street dog because the lot of freedom is there. Yeah, that is what people want. Freedom they want to enjoy. They don't want to take up to they don't want to come to Lord or do the service or I mean take into devotional service. So why? Because there is a lot of freedom. So basically the street dog means nobody says anything, but then there is so much of risk also at the same time, because anyone, the strangers can throw stones at it. No, there is nobody. But then if somebody, it is a owner's dog, nobody will touch it. No, they're afraid, because why? The owner will come and check, and then he will get even the food. There is no guarantee of the food for the street dogs, but then for the owner's dog, he get his proper food. I mean, the he will take care. And then freedom is restricted, but right. So basically freedom is restricted, the little bit of freedom is restricted. So if we are and there is also this municipality people also can come and take the street dogs, right, and they will kill. So these so much of difficulty is there, being I want to be independent. If an independent mentality is there, then we know Krishna comes as Kala, and right. So but then if we surrender to the Lord, then obviously Krishna will protect us from all the sufferings and difficulties. Yeah. So how living entity is conditioned or controlled? So it is said eternal soul is a also transcendental, like Krishna. It is Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha, no? Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha, we say. Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. So even we are, the soul is Satchidananda. But what happens? It comes in contact with the material nature and becomes conditioned by three modes. The three modes of material nature are the modes of goodness, action are pious. In mode of passion, action are over ambitious. The mode of ignorance, action are foolish. So now we'll see about the three gunas. So starting with mode of goodness. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakasham anamayam sukha sangena badnati jnana sangena chanagha.
O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating, and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode develop knowledge, but they become conditioned by the concept of happiness. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So in the mode of goodness, a person becomes very knowledgeable. No, he can. So he will be happy, and why? Because he's not engaging in any sinful activities. So when a person is not engaged in any sinful activity, obviously he becomes. I mean, there is no confusion or disturbance of mind. He is leading a happy life. So sometimes what happens, such kind of knowledge can bring a pride in that person. So, oh, I'm very well educated, because Prabhupada gives the scientists examples of scientists, philosophers. So well off, no? They are like they have materially also they are very good, making good, and so that satisfaction is there. Sometimes that pride also is there. So when that pride comes, what happens? He's satisfied in that life. He no more wants anything like okay, I have to raise above this or anything, because it why it is conditioned, it is said, even the mode of goodness, because what happens in the mode of goodness, he is conditioned by happiness. He feels that my life is perfect, everything is fine. Why should I go for spiritual life? No? Why should I go, do devotional service? We see such people, many such people in the material world. So, but what will happen? They will again have to come and take birth. Birth and death is there, because there are very good. Really, we see that they're very morally, they're very good. They're following the regulative principles and all that. But then the problem is that they're not interested in Krishna. So that will make them again get conditioned by this happiness, and they will have to come back to this material world. So yeah, so that is why this material mode of goodness is also is a binding, it is said. So now how mode of passion is binding is Rajo Rajatmakam Vidhi Trishna Sangam Samudbhavam Trishna Sanga Samudbhavam Tannibhadnati Kaunteya Sangena Dehinam.
The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Buddhi, and because of this, one is bound to material fruitive activities.
Yeah. So this Rajoguna, so it is said more than 90% of population actually is in Rajoguna, because so many desires, and to fulfill that desire, they have to work very hard. No? Because so much of hankering is there to do sense gratification, and there is a lot of desire for honor, and people should respect me, and I mean, I should be on top, like everybody should praise me, right? So this thing is there in the mode of passion. So desire and unlimited desire and longings, and because of this, one is material fruitive activities. So he's engaged, so that even the doing the sacrifices for going to higher planets is also a rajoguna only, because that is also some desires, that is a higher desire going to higher planet. So that is also a fruitive activity. So, and Prabhupada says that this basically this rajoguna is characterized by attraction between a man and a woman. So they are attracted by the opposite sex, and that's how there is lot of desire. We see this in chapter 2, right? So sangat sanjayate kama, kamat krodho bijayate. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibramaha. No? So basically contemplating on the sense object, because they think that that is the happiness. No, so every person sees happiness in different things. So we see this in chapter 17, how the faith is divided in three modes of material nature. No, even the based on the mode of goodness, certain food he likes. Mode of passion, he likes a different food. So even in the food, that by seeing the food, we can see like what kind of person is he. Is he a mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance? So they have a different the happiness, their definition of happiness is different, their kind of work, their determination is different. So all this is even in the 17 and 18 chapters we see this. So where the Lord explains, so this mode of passion is basically uh, too many desires. And so Bhagavatam says that there is a word which is used called pavarga. Pavarga means P for parishrama. No, pavarga means what? In Sanskrit it is called, like kavarga means kakka gaganya. No, whoever have languages like Kannada, Hindi, or this thing, the other mother tongues, so they will understand, right? So kavarga, then come chavarga, chacha jajana, tata dadana, tata dadana, papa babama. No, so like that, papa babama. So pa means parishrama. Pa, second pa means uh, so it's, I don't have a Sanskrit word, but the meaning is given like the foaming. Foaming means like when the person endeavor a lot, like it is like salvating, like basically trying so hard. The Prabhupada gives the example of a horse. So horse, when it works so hard, it's foaming in mouth, right? So so much of hard work. I mean, parishrama. And then the ba is first ba, that is frustration. So after doing so much of hard work, he's still frustrated because he's not getting success after so much of hard work. And then there is bha, second ba, that is bhaya, or the fear. That is like, oh, I'm doing so much of hard work. Maybe the other colleague, his enemy, or he may get promotion. I'm doing all that work. So that kind of always fear is there. My boss may I mean, my job may be at threat, or these things are always there. That fear is there because they so much of unlimited desire is there for them to go up or to have the name, fame, and all that. So fame of falling down is always there. I mean, fear of falling down. So the fear, and then ma is mrityu, that is the death. So even after doing all that, one cannot conquer the death, right? Everyone has to die, and these people are very much too much attached to family. So one should be attached, yeah, one should be having a responsibility towards family, but over attachment is a sign of rajoguna. That's what Prabhupada says. Yeah, but then, and Prabhupada says that in the earlier ages, mode of goodness was considered to be the uh, uh, sign, right? Okay, somebody. Yes, Mataji. Yeah. So in the earlier ages, people thought that mode of goodness is good. It is considered as advancement. No, in the Vedic time, like everybody has to know Sanskrit, everybody has to recite Vedas. So that was considered. I mean, if somebody sees them, oh, they should see that the knowledge, and they used to give respect. But now only money, right? Money, name, fame, only the those thing. Mode of advancement is not, no more is a mode of goodness, but it has become mode of passion. तमस्त्वज्ञानजं विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनं para प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः तान् निबध्नाति भारत.
O son of Bharata, the mode of ignorance causes the delusion of all living entities. The result of this mode is madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah. So tamastvajnanajam vidhi. So this, when a person is in mode of ignorance, he is in delusion. So basically, he don't know the differentiation. Or I mean, he usually thinks that right to be wrong and wrong to be right. So in mode of goodness, so it is said whenever a person want to do some work, no, he contemplate and then take action. No? He thinks about consequences. What would happen if I do this, and what would so, and then he takes action. In Rajoguna, person first will take action and then repent. Oh, I should have not done this. Why did I do this? No, that kind of mentality will come in Rajoguna. And in Tamoguna, what will happen? They don't do anything. They simply don't take any action at all, and they'll be in illusion. There, it is mode of too much of sleep. If somebody is sleeping more than 12 hours, no, 12, because Prabhupada says 6 hours is enough. And if, or maybe 5, 6 to 7 hours, not more than that. No, but then some people sleep even for 12 hours, like that, more than. So getting up very late, in after when the sun has come on the top, right? Or after 10 o'clock, like that, and all. There are many people, they and the sleeping time is also late, getting up time is also late. So those people are in mode of ignorance, madness, indolence, and sleep. So if you advise them anything good, they will shout at you. They're not ready to listen. So it is complete madness. We can't even give them any guidance or suggestion or anything good we cannot tell. So they're very completely foolish. So they don't, they spirituality though they don't even have. I mean, they're completely ignorant. See, Krishna speaks no about in chapter 3, where he says the lust, kind of lust is also in it is very, it vary. For some it is very thin. It is like uh, fog, right? No, the smoke smoke covered. So for some people, I mean, there it could be like just like fog, little bit. You give the Krishna consciousness, immediately they are able to take it. There are many people like that, right? Once they came, I mean, they got this knowledge from Bhagavad Gita, so immediately they are able to take and grasp it. But there are some people, they're not able to, like they have to be in constant association or have the prasad, visit temples, and then laterly they are able to take. And some they'll be very ignorant, even they will not be ready to come also, right? So the lust is very thick, just like a baby in the womb of a mother. It's difficult to move in the, it's very difficult situation. So similarly, the ignorance is also on a different level in everyone. So such ignorance, so much of ignorance is the, I mean, the mode of ignorance means it is covered at by so much of lust. So that is the reason. So, and killing of animals for taste, satisfying the taste bud, that is also in a, it is mode of ignorance. And Prabhupada says that we should be very careful, because whatever, if we are killing an animal in this life, so next life I should be ready to be killed by that animal, because there's no guarantee that I'll be a human, right? If I'm indulging in such act, obviously I'll get a lower body, and that the other person, he will take a revenge on me. That's how the karma work. You know, everything, whatever we do, we get it back from material nature. So passion binds by ropes of desire and what is, I'm not able to see. Desire and attachment, characterized by
Attachment.
strong,
Attraction
strong
between
attraction
man
between, yeah,
and woman.
yes.
Yeah.
So how modes of passion binds the living entities? So what is, yeah, this is just said. So advancements is considered to be, yeah. So you can see hankering for material enjoyment, since gratification want honor. Society wants a happy family with 5 children, so that he can show off and see that I am the happiest person in the world, right? To construct a residence for sense gratification. One works hard for a palatial house as if it is eternal, thus bound by fruits of work. So his destiny is no liberation. So there is no chance of liberation. So in the 3 modes also there is no liberation. But only thing is, comparatively mode of goodness is good, because from there it is easy to raise to pure goodness. So how ignorance bind causes delusion for all embodied beings, madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. Ignorance, it is just opposite to mode of goodness. Under the spell of ignorance, one cannot understand a thing as it is. Prabhupada mentions the word Ajnanajam tu tam vidhi. No, tu means it's a very particular for embodied soul. Yeah, so here we can see this. Sleep 6 hours is sufficient, but in ignorance, one sleep 10 to 12 hours, always dejected, addicted to intoxicants and sleeping. So manifested in the form of madness and laziness. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati rajak karmani bharata jnanamavritya tu tamaha pramade sanjayatyuta.
The mode of goodness conditions one to happiness. Passion conditions him to the fruits of action, and ignorance to madness.
Yeah. So this is the summary of whatever we saw. So when somebody is in mode of goodness, how does he get conditioned? By happiness. And the mode of passion, he's conditioned to fruit of action. He keeps on doing so that he creates something. Fruitive activity, doing some activity for getting something in return, right? So they are attached to the results. And then in mode of ignorance, to madness. So section C, recognizing the supremacy of mode within a person. rajas 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 tamaschabhibhuyah sattvam bhavati bharata rajas sattvam tamaschaiva tamas sattvam rajastata.
Sometimes the mode of goodness becomes prominent, defeating the modes of passion and ignorance. O son of Bharata, sometimes the mode of passion defeats goodness and ignorance, and at other times, ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So, yeah, so this explains that any, I mean, it's not like we are always in mode of goodness. It's very rare. So sometimes one may be in Sattva Guna, sometimes when be in Rajo Guna, and sometimes in Tamo Guna. So usually it is said in the early morning. Usually the mind is in very Sattva Guna. That is why we have to, I mean, if we make our mind in at that time, we train our mind for the whole of the day, the rest of the day. So then we can maintain the mode of goodness. No? That is why getting early in the morning in the Brahma Murta and chanting and these things are recommended in Shastras. So because that time we are able to keep our mind calm and listen, right? We are more into outside distractions are less, and we can listen to the Lord, right? So then slowly we can raise to the Shuddha Sattva, the mode of goodness. So Prabhupada says that we have to raise to the pure mode of goodness, which is Vasudeva Sthiti, which is called as Vasudeva Sthiti or pure mode of goodness. So, yeah. So this is a competition between the three modes, right? So this sloka explains about the competition. Oh, so one defeat the other. सर्वद्वारेषु देहेऽस्मिन् प्रकाश उपजायते ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात् विवृद्धं सत्त्वमित्युत.
The manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah. So how can one find out that one is in mode of goodness? So it says that all gates of body are eliminated. So what are the gates of body? Studied about this in earlier chapters, right?
Now, yeah,
9 gates, 9 gates.
nine
Na?
gates.
What are those 9 gates?
Navatware. Two
Uh,
eyes, two nose, two
yeah.
ears,
Was it in chapter 5
genitals.
or Navadvare Pure Dehi Naiva
Yeah,
Kurvanna
it is.
Karayan, right? I think so.
Okay.
Chapter 5.
Yes.
Okay, what was those 9 gates? Yeah, you said ears, 2
Yeah.
ears and nostrils
Two eyes,
and
two
2
nostrils,
eyes.
mouth,
Yeah, mouth, genitals and anus. No?
genitals, and
So these are
yeah.
said to be the 9 gates. So what does it mean? Light illuminated in the sense by knowledge. So basically, when a person is in mode of goodness, so he I mean, it is full of knowledge. Like whatever hearing, also he has this discrimination of hearing. He knows what is right and what will. I mean, there is a clarity. I mean, whether what is good for him, what is bad for him, or in the seeing also, no, what is right thing for him to advance in spiritual life, or or like not engaging, like if there is something, if it is sense object, or then he will avoid it, right? So that he will not get entangled. So he because he has knowledge, so what will be the consequence of getting engaged? So he will keep himself away. So that is being in knowledge. So this is only happens in mode of goodness. So like, or to smell the know how, like Ambish Maharaj used all his senses. So to smell the tulsi, to see the feature of the Lord, no, the what can one do with the eyes? The best thing is to see the Lord, no, or to hear his pastimes. That is to using the ears to hear the pastimes of the Lord. So in that way, one can, then it is said to be in mode of goodness.
Cleansed inside and outside.
Okay, so when a person is in, so another example is that like when there is a fog on in the road, right? So early morning or when there is very fog, we can't, the road is not clear. No? We can't drive. If you want to go out, you can't drive. So, but then when there is a sun, when there is a sunlight, everything is very clear. So similarly, when a person is in knowledge, so there's no doubt or confusion. So everything is clear to him. So, all senses are engaged very perfectly. So in devotional service. So that is in mode of goodness. He can engage in the sense. Lobha pravrittirarambha karmanam spruha rajasyetani jayante vivriddhe kurunandana.
O chief of the Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, uncontrollable desire, hankering, and intense endeavor develop.
Yeah. So this is in mode of passion. So symptoms are great attachment, uncontrollable desires. So even they don't mind to exploit others for their happiness. So this will happen in mode of passion. So so how one develops this mode of passion, it's all again because of our earlier desires, or it could be because of our old karma, and also our association, current association, what we are doing. So that is why if we are more into like if a child, right? So when he goes to college, usually it is said, so until they're 10, they're very pure, or into the PU also. But then when they go into engineering colleges, because of the association, many people fall into like they start, engaging in all kind of bad activities, right? Because they're until that they're very good. Why that happened? Because of the association. So because they simply they try to once somebody will force them, or they will feel okay, let me try. I mean, it may be their friends will tell, just taste it, nothing will happen. So they may taste alcohol, or they can take cigarettes. So these things will happen because of the association. So whatever, so if the association is not taken care of, then obviously the person will be in a great problem. So that is why we so much is important, even with children, right? We need to communicate, and we need to tell them what is right, what is wrong, with which things they have to keep themselves away. I mean, so much we need to protect, right? Because the society nowadays, the social media, they have access, very easy access for everything. So it is very dangerous actually currently. So we have to give them those, we have to give this knowledge to the children actually. Yeah. Yes, you can read, Prabhu.
In the mode of passion, one is never satisfied with the position he has acquired. He hankers to increase it. For residing, he wants a palatial house. He thinks he is going to live eternally in that house. Hankering for endless sense gratification, always wants to be attached to his family and enjoy perennially.
Yeah. So this is a mode of passion.
One thing it is there in the Patwa.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mataji.
What is that?
It is if he wants to construct a residential house, he tries his best to have a palatial house, as if he would be able to reside in that house eternally.
Yeah. Correct. So this is
That
what.
is really
So he thinks that always I'm going to live always. Na? So even in chapter 16 also we see this is the mentality of Prabhupada. I mean, Krishna considers them to be a demonic nature. The people who think like that, means sense gratification to be the goal, just like Hiranya Kashipu. He thought that since gratification is, so what will happen? Even he was so rich, but even he had to die, right? So this sense gratification, if somebody is attached only to that, so there is no liberation or happiness for them. He just said he was not happy, though he conquered so much, and yeah, he was able to make devatas to I mean work as per his wish, but he was not happy in life because this sense gratification will not bring happiness. Now, many times people think that having money is happiness, but that is not so. I mean, it is said there was when someone did a survey, it said like in 1950 they did, and compared to 1950 and now, the world has advanced more than 400 times, 400%. Can't imagine so much advance in the term of material advancement. But then if we
Yes.
see the happiness curve, it is only decreasing. That people in those days were more happier than us. What has happened to us after having all these facilities? No, that shows that this material advancement is not the way for happiness. Correct? Yeah.
Yes.
So this is now mode of ignorance. Aprakasho pravrittischa pramado moha eva cha tamasyetani jayante vivriddhe kurunandana.
Yeah. O son of Kuru, when there is an increase in the mode of ignorance, madness, illusion, inertia, and darkness are manifested. Yeah, Mataji.
Yeah,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So when a person is in mode of ignorance, so this is so similar verse we saw earlier also. So basically what happens, he act whimsically. Whimsically means not following any rules and regulations of Shastra or anything. So Prabhupada says that always he is in danger only because presently he is in unhappy, and but then when he die also what will happen, the yamadutas are there for waiting, right? They will take to some lower species of life or to the hell or whatever. So no happiness now nor later. In mode of goodness, there is a currently happy na. How does there is one thing na, what is that, the thinking, feeling, willing. No, there is something called the function of a mind is to think, to feel, and then you will like to act. So when something bad thought, good thought come, person in mode of goodness, he will think about it, he will feel, and then he will act also. He will do that. But when a bad thought come, because thoughts you don't have control, we are not that is why we should not identify with the thoughts. In a day we get thousands of thoughts, so that does not mean that I'm that. So don't give more importance to bad thoughts. If you're getting bad thoughts, they don't identify or don't associate with that. So but then associate with good thoughts, no? That is why they say, no, you concentrate on positive thing of life, not rather than seeing the negative thing in life. So that person, when a negative thought come, the person in mode of goodness, what does he do? He the thought will come, but he will not take into feeling, and then there is no action also. Feeling and willing is not there. He'll not do. But then a person in mode of passion, when a good thought come, it will come to mind, and then he will feel, but he may not act. Sometimes he acts, sometimes he may not act. It's like that. He's not sure. And in when a bad thought come, what does he do? It comes, and then sometimes he feel, but he will not do it, not willing to act. But mode of ignorance, when a good thought come, what does he do? Immediately he only a thought. He will never feel about it, nor he will not do any action about it. Only daydreamer. No? He'll be always daydreaming. Oh, I can become a rich man. I'll be having so many car. I'll be having servant and all that. But he will never try or work hard to get that. Only daydreamer. So he will not do. He will not put into action. But when a bad thought comes, he will immediately do it. No? He will not take action on that immediately. So that is the difference between these three kind of people. So basically, he has a capacity to work, but he is not engaging himself. So consciousness is almost dead. Consciousness is almost dead, though he's having a consciousness in his body. we can see people are addicted to so many drugs and these things. No, these are all in mode of ignorance. And even the playing games also, this is also a mode of ignorance. So it's only because what will happen because of this online gaming, because it is said the children and even elders also nowadays play. Because of that, they are not able to focus on anything for a long time. Because and also that shorts, nowadays the shorts, people are much interested in seeing the shorts. Shorts are very very short. It will be some seconds, not even a minute. So people are addicted to seeing that. They can't even focus on something, or you find people difficult to recite shloka or memorize or remember. Why? Because we don't have that focus when learning. So yeah, so these are all yes, Prabhu.
In the mode of ignorance, there is no illumination, no knowledge. One does not work by a regulative principle, acts whimsically, does not work though he has the capacity to do, is always illusion. Consciousness is there, but life is inactive.
Yeah, so same thing. I mean,
Last one is
yeah, correct. So yeah, so okay, maybe we can continue the tomorrow section D. Maybe we can stop here. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Sindhubhya. Hey, did you all mark the attendance? I have marked. 1 second. Let me
Yeah.
post one second. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय नामचार्य दास ठाकुर की जय. Can we all chant 3 times? Hare Krishna. Can all unmute? Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Can chant. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare,
Krishna.
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna. Thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Any
Krishna.
questions? Anything is there regarding today's chapter? You can ask. Otherwise, we can. Okay. Okay, then we can meet tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Mataji.
Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.